Good morning. How is everybody? I'm trying something new today for Monday Morning Live. I'm actually simultaneously doing Instagram and YouTube. So that is a new thing for me. So, excuse me, you can catch me on either or, and it's going to be exactly the same this week. So, welcome to everybody joining in. Happy Monday morning. Hope you had a great Passover if you celebrate, or an Easter if you celebrate, or maybe you're in the middle of Ramadan, or maybe you're just enjoying the spring weather. That's all great. That's where I land. I don't really celebrate. I grew up Catholic, but I don't really celebrate Easter because to me it was very religious when we were young. And so to me, I have that religious connotation. And because I'm not religious anymore, I don't really celebrate it. So that's it. But we did go away for the weekend, got some skiing in, feeling so much better. I think my tummy's still a little dealing with COVID, let's just say. But I am feeling more or less fine. So it was great. We were able to go skiing for a couple of days with my brother and sister-in-law and nephew, one of my nephews. So that was really fun. The kids got to hang out. We got to all be together. My knees were dying, but they'll recover. It's just me being out of shape. So more than anything. And now we're back in the studio. Still got this project behind me and so much more in front of me. You know what this week is, though? This week is tax week. Ugh. Who wants to do taxes? I don't, but I do have to get all the information into our accountant to do that. So that is a heavy, heavy week for me, going to be a lot of that, but everybody is healthy. Fingers crossed. We're going to do that. But that doesn't mean I won't be doing some quilting too, because I'll be doing some quilting. I'm going to continue to work on getting this together. I'm waiting for the next delivery of gray, and hopefully it is the right gray this time. That's on me, not on the store. And if it's not, then I'll just figure something out to get it together, because I've used two different whites without knowing it. So if I use two different grays without knowing it, so be it. It's not the end of the world. That's the spirit of improv, is just that kind of making it work mentality. You just go with what you have, right? You don't have to get all fancy with it or anything. We just do the spirit. In fact, that's something that I often tell my students. Even if you figure out that improv isn't for you after taking a class with me, it may be that there's enough stuck in your brain so that when problems come up or challenges come up, you're much more comfortable being creative with your solution. So you can improvise a solution to the challenge. And so even if you don't want to do improv techniques with sewing, there's that little part of your brain that's been activated now. And it will allow you to kind of be more creative when you go forward in finding solutions. So we'll be working on that here and there, particularly when my back and my knees are bothering me because I stand up to sew. So that's what I'll be doing. But otherwise, it's going to be quilting and binding. That is the name of the game this week. My self-portrait quilts, I am very close to being finished the quilting. It's been great using up leftover bobbins. So it's like bobbin scraps. So I'm using up bobbins trying to get it. I want to get it a little bit more dense because you can see there's even though this is fusible, it didn't fuse very well, unfortunately. I did all the normal directions, but maybe Wonder Under was not the right product. I don't know. But I want to get a lot more quilting in here so that I don't have to worry about any kind of edges flipping up or anything. So we're going to have to work through that. But I have gone through, I think, 3 colors of bobbins. And I think I have 3 or 4 more to go through. And I actually found another one last night. So it's been fantastic doing that because it's a great way to clear those bobbins. I'll often use them for piecing, but this is the first time I've done it for quilting. I also got last week this quilt quilted. I had to resist the urge. It is very much my tendency to quilt things to death, to go very dense in my quilting. I really, really wanted to, but I resisted the urge. One, because this is likely going to end up being given to a baby at some point. And so I wanted it to be a little, I mean, with the cotton batting that I use, it is very drapey and soft, but I also used this great Rashida Coleman Hale wall on the back. So it's like extra soft. So I just wanted it to be way more, I don't know, soft and drapey. So I resisted the urge. It is more than safely quilted because I've got quilting every inch and a half. So it's all good in there, just straight line quilting. But I've got a ton of threads to bury because there was direction switches and ends, right? So I was doing diagonal on the tree part. So I have all these starts and stops and then straight line there. So there you can kind of see the tree part of that. So last night when we got home from our ski trip, I got it trimmed up and I made the binding. So I'm going to use this. I really kind of wanted an olive green binding, not my norm, which meant that I didn't have a lot of olive green in my stash in order to do it. So unfortunately, and there's a really, like I was looking for this kind of a green or this kind of a teal. Those were my first two choices. Didn't really have either in the stash. I had some greens, but not enough. And the pieces I had were actually all really small. So a pieced binding, even on a baby quilt, would have been really messy. It wouldn't have worked. Sometimes I'll do it and I absolutely love the effect, but in this case, it wouldn't have worked. This color, this light color would have been nice as well. But again, not something I had in my stash and I wasn't interested in going shopping for it. So I thought about doing purple. That would have made sense, or even a black with the black and white fabrics. But I chose, you can see a pink thread to quilt this, which I thought was kind of a nice change. It's just a pale pink thread, so it kind of blends in with the purple, pops out just a little bit on the white and black. So I went with a pink for binding, and it's more kind of a magenta. And conveniently, it is also a Rashida Coleman Hale fabric. So I think that'll be kind of fun to have the two. This one's years old. This is one of her newest. I think, where did I? Here's my salvage. It is called, oh, of course, it's not showing up here. Oh, there's the, let me go. I can tell you what it's called. It's a great all-purpose tone-on-tone kind of fabric, and it comes in a ton of different colors. So I would highly recommend seeking it out. Where's my thing here? Pixel something. I've cut it off, of course. Pixel Party, maybe. I don't know. But it is a beautiful fabric. There it is, uncut. Comes in lots of different colors, available now these days. So that's going to be my binding. I will hand finish it like I usually do. I enjoy that. So we'll be sitting and doing that. So that is the goal. I'm also going to, I still haven't decided how I want to bind all my self-portraits. So I may decide on that this week. We'll see. I have one more that I want to get quilted this week, my skiing one. Let me show you. It is basted, but I want to get this one bound, or I mean quilted. So especially because I probably won't go skiing anymore this year. The snow's still good, but I don't know that we'll have the time. So I'm going to try to get this one bound or quilted, and then I'll decide how I'm going to bind all of these. And then the other big thing, oh, I really can't see if I don't have these on. The other big thing that we've got going on is on Friday is another play date for the Quilters Playcation Adventure Sewalong. So these play dates are live. Come and hang out. No sewing or work required or expected. It's really just about hanging out. And then I'm going to give you some sort of tutorials, lessons, games that we're going to play with. And last month when we had the play date, we worked on fabric selection and understanding value. And I went through a whole bunch of different things with these blocks here. Oy. Right, I ended up making these blocks because I was kind of playing with the hard to work with fabric, which was this kind of funky print that's in the center there. This time, we're going to play on the design wall. Playing on the design wall is my absolute favorite part of making a quilt. Figuring out how to take all these different elements and put them together into something that makes sense. When we have a whole bunch of really disparate elements, it can be very difficult and overwhelming to do it. So, what I always recommend doing is if we're new to that part of the process or wanting to explore it a little bit further in a really safe, comfortable baby step kind of way, we're going to play with repeats of blocks. So, I am going to make a whole bunch of half square triangles, probably some improv curves, and maybe just some bars kind of blocks. And we'll go from there. And I'm going to work with scraps. I'm not going to get too excited. I have all these scraps that need to be sorted. So I'm going to work with these and probably just because I tend to work with scraps with lights, I'm going to go scraps with darks, or maybe I'll pick a different neutral to pair them with. But I'm going to work just with scraps and a simple other color and have them all so we can be playing with line and shape and color and have a lot of fun. So that's going to be on Friday from 4 to 6 Mountain. So a nice, if you're local, after work kind of thing to do. But early enough if you're participating from somewhere else that it's not too late for you. So I hope I will see you then. You can register for those on the Quilters Playcation website. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Probably start playing with those things today or tomorrow, so you'll get to see some kind of previews of where that's going there. So that's really the bulk of the week is binding, finishing up the quilting on that, starting the quilting. So it's all self-portraits, getting this together and getting ready to play with you guys on Friday's play date. With that, and it's going to be great. I think it's going to be great. Other things coming up is the Churn Dash Dance Party, which is next weekend. And that's it for the next little while, which is going to be great. I can do my taxes. Yay. Get my tax information all done. And then it's prep. My daughter has a big competition this weekend. So we'll be working hard for her, getting her fed and recovered and all the rest of it. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm glad I got this, being able to do these at the same time. So hello to everybody on YouTube. Hello to everybody on Instagram. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm so glad you are here with me to play, to enjoy, to see what's going on in my world. And I'm so happy to share it with you. So have a wonderful week. And we will see you hopefully on Friday. If not, online, wherever you can find me. Take care. This is Cheryl Arkison. We'll see you next week. Bye.